Alright, yo guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I wanted to go over the new weapon banner that's coming out in a few hours, but I just kind of wanted to go over on if it's worth to pull if you're a free-to-play player or a light spender, because I know getting those rolls can be rough. I'm just going to go over all the 4 stars and the 5 stars, and hopefully show you guys who they're good with, if they're worth pulling for, which honestly, this banner is probably worth pulling for, but let me go and show you why. So on the rate up, we have Witsith as one of the 4-star rate ups. The Witsith, it's honestly cracked. People say it's not the best weapon, but I think this and Solar Pearl are probably one of the 2 best 4-star weapons. I personally prefer the Witsith just because, Solar Pearl doesn't work with my Klee that well because it doesn't increase my charge attacks and the Witsith increases my overall damage. That's why I prefer this one. Pretty good weapon overall, and if you don't have it yet and you end up rolling into the banner and you get it, I'd say it's pretty worth if you use a Catalyst user for DPS. It's a really good DPS book. Next up, we have Lion's Roar. Obviously, I don't have Kaching, so I don't have it maxed out. But if you do have a Kaching and you do play Electro Kaching, this weapon could be really good on her. I know a lot of people use this weapon if they have Electric Kaching and if they don't have a 5-star or the Black Sword. But overall, on any other character, not the best weapon until they release like a new character that can do electro damage with a sword or pyro damage with a sword. But if you have Kaching, it is an overall good option. Then we have Sacrificial Bow. Really good bow overall. Sadly, not many characters make use of the bow because most of them... But yeah, if you have a Diona and you don't have this bow, it could be worth going into this banner just a little bit to hoping you get the bow because it's really good on her. And obviously more refinements in this weapon aren't the worst. It goes up pretty well. You get lower cooldown on it and a higher chance to proc it, which is really good. Overall, I'd say really only worth getting if you have a Diona. And next up, we have the 2 new Lithic weapons, the Lithic Blade and the Lithic Spear. The Claymore is good. It's better than Aminus in my opinion. It does have a lower base attack than Aminus, but it does have a higher attack percent substat, and its passive can give you up to 12% crit rate depending on who you're using in your team, and a lot more attack percent, which is really solid, and that's just at refinement 1. If you end up getting a second refinement, or 3rd or 4th, then this weapon is insane. I don't know if it's better than the Battle Pass weapon, the Battle Pass 4-star. It probably is if you can't dodge and you get hit a lot. If you do use a shield user with that weapon might be better. I'm not too sure, I haven't done the math on it. But if you are running the current prototype Aminus right now and you want to roll for this weapon, I'd say it's overall worth. Really solid weapon and becomes insane with refinements. The Lithic Spear, probably one of the new best weapons in the game. Really decent base attack and same passive as the Claymore. This weapon's pretty much good on all of the spear users in the game currently, and it'll be good on Hu Tao if you get her. Especially if you get refinements on this weapon's going to outclass the deathmatch, it's going to outclass any craftable weapon. It's going to be insane. I don't know if it'll outclass the Jade Spear because that is a 5-star. I'm not too sure. I haven't done the math between those 2. But overall, a really good weapon for a 4-star. And if you're rolling to get this or the Staff of Homa, I'd say it's definitely worth trying to get one of these, because this spear is going to be insane. And then speaking of Staff of Homa, God, this thing just looks actually insane. This is going to be good on every single spear user in the game. Going to give you a crap load of crit damage, decent base attack, and a bunch of attack when your HP is below 50%. This thing is going to give you so many stats that it's actually, it seems broken just on paper. I cannot wait to see it in the game. If you have Zhongdong, you're going for Hu Tao, even Zhao, even Zhangling, it's going to be good on all of them. Going to make them all a bit more tankier, because let's be honest, some of the spear users are pretty squishy. So overall, really good 5-star weapon. And then obviously the Wolf's Gravestone, you guys all know what that is. It's been out for a while. Probably one of the best 5-star weapons in the game, if not the best. It's broken. Gives you a whole bunch of attack. If you're planning on rolling and hoping you get this, really good weapon. So that's it for the weapons. Just want to give you guys a brief rundown on all of them, let you know my opinion on them. Now keep in mind this is a weapon banner, so if you're going for the Wolf's Gravestone, you could end up with the Staff of Homa and vice versa, or even a completely different weapon. So if you're rolling and you don't want one of them, I wouldn't suggest rolling into the banner at all because you could get screwed out of it and not even get the one you want. Especially as a free-to-play player, I don't think it's worth it rolling into the banner to get one of these weapons if you don't want the other one, or if you're not okay with getting the other one, because it can happen and it most likely will because of how the weapon banners work. If you want one of the 4-star weapons, like the new Spear, you want the Witsith, you want the new Claymore, I'd say it's worth throwing a little bit of rolls into it. I'm a light spender. I usually just buy the Blessing of the Moon and the Battle Pass, and I'm probably going to throw some rolls in this banner and hopefully get some new weapons. If you are completely free to play and you don't care about any new characters coming out, you love your current party, and you want to beef them up with some new weapons, I'd say this weapon banner is worth it for you. But if you do want future characters, or you don't want to risk getting one of these weapons and not wanting them and you get the wrong one or something like that, I would not suggest rolling this banner at all, because that's how weapon banners work and it can happen. Yes, I know the banner looks insane, but you also want to get the new Ayaka coming out if she comes out next patch, and you don't think you'll have enough rolls to get her and to get a weapon from this banner, don't roll on this banner because you could end up getting screwed of the weapon you want and then not even get Ayaka or whatever character you want in the future. Hopefully that answers your guys' question. Hopefully it helps you guys out in deciding whether you should roll for it or not. Like I said, I'm probably going to be rolling into it. I'm not going to be buying rolls to roll into it. I'm just going to throw my Blessing of the Moon rolls into it every day probably, you guys have any more questions or comments about rolling into the banner, or if you shouldn't or if you should, feel free to comment down below and I'll try and respond to you and give you guys some advice or my opinion, help you guys out in deciding. Or you guys can come to my Twitch, twitch.tv/Geoblaster. I stream there almost every day. I'd be glad to talk with you guys about it there. But that should be it. Good luck on your guys rolling. Peace.